All right, good evening. We're going to call the meeting to order, or back in session for our regular session at 7:04, starting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And so tonight, I'm going to ask, with great pride and excitement, to have our Dr. Jessica Moran lead us in the pledge tonight. She successfully defended her position on the 25th, and we're really proud of her. Thank you.
Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Moran. All right, on to approval of the agenda. There are a couple of corrections. Under new business, item G, purchase of EV buses. The quote for Model 1 Commercial Vehicles Incorporated had incorrect sales tax rate. A new quote and a BRM reflecting the new amount with the corrected sales tax has been provided to the board and posted on the website. In item number 11 of the consent calendar, item B, personnel. B2, report of classified employment. An updated report has been provided to the board and is posted on the website. Dr. Marshall, any other?
No more changes.
No more changes. All right. So with that, I need to have a motion to approve the agenda as corrected. All right, we have a motion by Member Gattuso, seconded by Member Valeteo to approve the agenda as corrected. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it's carried unanimously. All right, one of the best parts of our meetings is when we get to recognize some of the great things that are happening in our district. And tonight we have a sixth grader from RM Miano, that is, we're going to show our appreciation and accolades for all the great things that he's done. Welcome.
Evening. Good evening, board. Good evening. I'm Zelda Diaz-Harper, principal of Miano Elementary, and I love these moments where I can present my students for the great things that they've accomplished. And this evening, I would like to introduce to you David Flash Barreras. This is David. He has his medal that he has with him. I was going to say a couple of words about his accomplishment, but then I see that his coach is here, so I would love to introduce the coach. That way she can thoroughly explain what all he has done. Come on up, Coach. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'm owner and head coach at Strike Fitness here in town. We have a lot of juniors, a lot of talent in Los Banos. David's been with me for about 3 years, 3.5 years. He trained for about a year, and then he started competing in what we call semi-contact Muay Thai, and he did very well, and he went like 11-0 with no losses. And then we tried to move him up to amateur fighting, where it's actually in a ring, it's full contact. And he's had an up and down journey, no doubt. He's had some losses, he's had some wins, but he has stuck with it, and his determination last year took him to nationals in Delaware. And nationals is USA Muay Thai. It's the recognition of getting it into the Olympics. So for the first time this last year, they had exhibition rounds for Muay Thai in the Olympics, and we're hoping that it continues to get there. He won gold at nationals, so that placed him on Team USA. And in September, we just recently got back, he went to Thailand, the motherland of Muay Thai, and competed at Worlds. And he had a bracket of like 10 people. He did amazing. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to the finals, but he got to fight other countries. The team itself took about 24 athletes from all over the U.S., and David was one of them from little old Las Banas. And 16 of them placed with medals, and USA ranked number 4 out of 55 countries, and this was all a youth tournament. So this was all 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds. So David returned. He had a good trip, and I'll let him tell you about the trip. He returns to nationals in March of next year again, and if he wins gold again, then he gets to compete on the team again, and they actually get to go to Abu Dhabi next year. So he's got some amazing things ahead in his future, and we greatly appreciate your recognition and everything that you guys have done, because combat sports are something that gets kind of not looked at. When you're in sports in school, you have boosters clubs, you have funding, you have things like that, but there are kids that do combat sports all year long. They train and compete, and it's just as expensive, if not more. And they don't have that funding, that financial support. So our goal has always been to get the talent out there, get them opportunities. He's leading the way for more in Las Banas, and I'm really excited to see where he goes.
Hey.
So David, on behalf of Miano Elementary School, we wanted to present you with this recognition award for representing the United States at the Muay Thai competition in Bangkok, Thailand. Congratulations.
Can he say a few words?
It's okay. You got this, kid. You got this. Just say hi.
Just tell us about you.
Hi guys.
Tell us about your trip.
It went good. Bangkok, Thailand. It was sticky hot over there. But we went to a bunch of fun things in Bangkok. We went to the cultural exchange with all the other kids, and they were excited to see us because we're free and they're not. And the fights on how I didn't fight like I usually do, but I did go all 3 rounds with that kid, and I fought Spain. I lost to a hard match, and this is my first time going to Bangkok.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good job. Yes. David, you make Las Banas proud.
Yep.
Congratulations. All right. If there's anybody that would like to request an item be placed on the board agenda, and if it's within our board's purview, we would be glad to look at that and see if we can make that accommodation. You may do so by submitting your request in writing to the superintendent at least 2 weeks prior to a regular scheduled meeting. If there's anybody here tonight that wishes to comment on any item that's on tonight's agenda, you may do so when that item comes up before us. Approach the podium. You'll be asked to give us your name and your comment on that agenda item. If there are multiples, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. If there are multiple speakers, there'll be a total of 20 minutes on public comment on an agenda item. If there is anybody here tonight that wishes to address the board on something that is not on tonight's agenda, you may do so in a second. Come up to the podium, tell us your name, and You'll have 3 minutes to speak. If there are multiple speakers on the same non-agenda item, again, it goes to 20 minutes. So with that, is there anybody here tonight that wishes to address the board on any item that is not on tonight's agenda? When there's a bunch of students lining the walls, I know Mr. De La Cruz brought his class tonight.
Yes. Good evening, board. I did do that. As we start a new school year, one of the requirements is for these young folks to learn about civics and how it works. And I always tell them that as far as civics goes, we always worry about the federal level, but nobody really pays attention a lot of times, unfortunately, to the local level. And that actually has more of an effect on them is government at the local level. And so, this month we're bringing some, next month. So get ready. Every month I'll be bringing another 20 to join us, and then of course next semester, because as you know, when we have 20 people times 6 classes and things like that. So we're going to be bringing 20, so that way we don't overwhelm the room. But basically, what we want to talk about is, it's a great time to be a government teacher right now. I mean, it's incredible. You got a presidential election going on. I mean, they're seeing signs everywhere. I mean, they're not just learning about it; they're seeing it. The idea is hopefully by seeing it and learning about it, they'll participate in it. So we're really focusing right now. We're really focusing on civil engagement and what they can do as far as being active in their community. That goes with volunteerism. I really want them to focus on that because I told them today that without volunteers, a lot of the programs that they've been involved with would not take place. And so as they get older and folks like us are getting out of the volunteer as far as the coaching and things like that, it's now their time to pay it forward. Not necessarily pay it back, but pay it forward. And so we've been really focusing on that civil engagement. We're going to find out, whether or not they'll be willing to volunteer. Some of them already been volunteering, and so my hope is that we can move them from being disengaged to being more engaged, and hopefully by going through this, they'll be able to do that. And so, like I said, each month we'll be bringing more students. On a different level, we are also at Pacheco High School. I'm proud to say that we are starting up a Sports Boosters Club. And fortunately, I've been, I don't know if it was dumb luck or whether or not I just decided to do it, but I was elected president of that Boosters Club. So just another thing on the plate. But our goal is to start raising money for Pacheco High School Sports Boosters, much like Los Banos has done, and bringing that and able to give that back to the students. So I'll be making appointments to talk to certain groups around town, see if we can get start raising money to get that started at Pacheco High School. So other than that, that's where we are, and I look forward to being back here next month. So
Thank you.
thank you, guys.
Good luck. And Mr. De La Cruz, you can tell your students, or I can tell the students they're here. If you ever have any questions about what we're doing it or why we're doing it or why something's on the agenda or whatever, you can email me or talk to Mr. De La Cruz, and he can email me and I'll send you an answer back. And that way, if there's questions in your mind of why we're doing something.
You actually might be getting emails because that's part of their assignment tonight is to email their supposed to find out who represents them in their area, and the idea would be for them to email that person or email the concern they have. So I don't know which email to use. I know it's the K-12 one or the email one.
The K-12, yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of who are watching this via YouTube, what Mr. De La Cruz said, you couldn't hear, and I just want to repeat it. He said that part of their assignment was to email board members and ask them questions or whatever, or even the superintendent. So that's something we will be getting. So that's what you didn't hear. All right. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board on any item that is not on tonight's agenda? All right, seeing no one come forward, we're going to go ahead and start. The first item is the student board representative report, and neither of our representatives could make it tonight, so they have given us their written report, and so we'll take that and we'll read it. And also, it is posted on the district's website, so everybody will have an opportunity to look it over. So the two high schools report is posted. All right, on to California School Employees Association report. Anybody here tonight? How about Las Vegas Teachers Association? Seeing no one come forward. All right, next item is our facilities report. Good evening, Ms. Monday.
Good evening. All right, good evening, board members, Board President Pereira, Dr. Marshall, Executive Cabinet, here to do the facilities update for October 2024. Here you can see us doing the groundbreaking for the new Early Education Center. We had a nice group of people. We had our contractors, our board members, our TK staff, and our preschool staff came out to help celebrate. There's some additional pictures of the day with our board members breaking that ground and Dr. Marshall doing a speech. And up in the left-hand corner is our construction team, our architect, our contractor, and our civil engineer on the project. So the contractor started mobilizing on September 30th. We're 100% cleared and grubbed. They are off-hauling all the soil that we don't need. They're about 40% complete with that. They're 10% complete with the rough grading. That's going to take about 2 weeks. Then after that, the next steps would be starting all the underground utilities, and the first two of those would be the storm drain and the sewer. We're still waiting for the city to approve our encroachment permit. So once we get that in place, we'll be able to start working on undergrounding that drainage ditch out in the front. This picture is a great view of where the driveway is going, the entrance to the school is going to be. It's going to be directly across from Las Palmas there. So that kind of gives you a view of how we're going to drive into the school. There'll be 2 parking lots on one of each side of that to enter into. And then just to give you a few little fun facts about the project, it's going to be 4 preschool classrooms, and they're going to have their own separate play area. There's going to be an admin office, an NPR with a serving kitchen, 15 TK classrooms, 1 special services office, a lunch shade structure, 3 shaded playground areas, the 2 parking lots I mentioned. The site is approximately 5 acres, and the square footage of the buildings is going to be 29,000 square feet. Kind of gives you just an overview. The next project we're currently working on right now is the cow-shaped ventilation project. The district is required to install CO2 sensors into all of the classroom spaces. AB 841 provided funding to the district to help accomplish those installations. We had some discussions of what the best solution was to provide those CO2 sensors in the classroom. With the funding we had, we came up, the best solution was the Pelican thermostats. Those are being installed anywhere, any classrooms that had standalone thermostats. We have building automation system, which is Allerton. So the sites that have Allerton are not going to have Pelican thermostat. So we're going to have 2 different, basically 2 different building automation systems in our district. This Pelican thermostat, our M&O technicians will be able to remote in on their phones. They'll be able to make adjustments at home, anywhere they are. They'll be able to go in there and change immediately the temperature of the room. We've had, because they're doing this work at night, and we've had a couple that when they came in the morning, they weren't working. And so I called the technician first thing in the morning. They literally just went into the phone and were able to fix the thermostat from the phone. They didn't have to go to the site. So that was very helpful. We have completed San Luis High School, the TK Center, Mercy Springs. This week we're working on Henry Miller and Miano. And upcoming, starting Monday, we'll be at Volta. And just to kind of give you some information about why this is important, it directly impacts student learning. Good air quality impacts student health and cognitive function, leading to improved attendance, focus, and academic performance. So that is why it's a requirement, a Cal Green requirement now, that we provide good air to our students so they can focus and learn and do what they're supposed to be doing in class. Next project is Volta modernization. Just to give you some history of this project, how it started was there was some mold found in room 1. The abatement of that mold was taken care of, and the room interior finishes were demolished by our own maintenance department. And then we determined that that was going to be over the cost threshold for them to be able to do those repairs. So that's how it became having to go to DSA for approval, and also became a modernization project. So we have the scope here. There'll be 2 phases. The first phase will be the building upgrades, which will start in February and go through June. And the second phase is the site improvements and parking lot area. So everybody knows Volta doesn't have much parking, so we're having to do the parking lot only in the summertime, so that's why it's kind of phased like that. We'll be bringing the BRM for permission to bid out the project next month. And during this, while we're doing the construction in the office will be relocated to probably a portable down at the other end of the campus where parents will still have good access to the front office. And I want to thank Matt and Francine for their time working with me and the architects on this to get this dialed in and how we want it. So, another project we're working on, this is in the design phase. We believe last month we brought these architect agreements to you, so it kind of gives you just an overview. I'm not going to read this one to you, but it kind of spells out where we are on that. The one on the left, the fire suppression system, that one will be coming here pretty quickly. We'll need to do a formal bid for that because all projects over $200,000 require a formal bid. And then the construction window is 4 weeks. So once that construction is done, the kitchen will be able to be up and operable, and we won't be having to move that food around like the staff is doing currently right now. This is an overview of the solar projects, the Grassland Solar Array and EV charging stations, and then also Creekside Solar Array. And I want to explain the difference of why one has EV charging stations and one does not. So the Grasslands Solar Array did not get into DSA prior to June 30th. June 30th required EV charging stations to be accessible under the solar shades. So our Schneider Building Solutions, who's doing Creekside, got the plans to DSA before that. Sizerco, their process is different, so that is why one is going to have EV charging stations and one is not. One is required, one is not required to have them. So that's how that came about. And then this is the list of all the other projects.
Sherry, hang on a second. Ms. Gattuso.
No, can you please let everybody know what DSA is?
DSA is Division of State Architect.
And maybe just a little more, just for the audience is what.
I have at the back, I
You
have
do
a
have
whole
it?
DSA slide.
Awesome. See, I'm getting ahead
Okay.
of myself. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so other projects. So here's a list of the other projects we're working on currently and kind of where each of them are. Just to kind of point out a few, the Miano restroom, we're in the initiation phase with the architect. FOT parking lot, we're completing the awning, and that will be complete by the end of the month. LED lighting project. We're going to be bringing the OBF agreements to the board in November. The LBE parking lot, we're working on closing out that project. Okay, so what I would like to do each month is kind of bring a topic of facilities. So this one is, when do projects have to be approved by Division of State Architect, which is DSA? So any reconstruction or alteration on a school building or campus that exceeds $119,000, which is not a lot of money. Can't do much for that. Division of State Architect provides us some work that is exempt, and they have a document that's called an IRA 22. You can Google that if you like to read that. And that will tell you exactly what projects have to go for approval to them and what projects are exempt. So, for example, things that are exempt because of either the type of work or it is below the cost threshold. So to replace an HVAC unit, if it's like for like, we don't have to go to them. If we're sealing and striping a parking lot, we don't have to go to them, as long as it's not exceeding the $119,000. Re-roofing, if it's like for like, there's an exemption, so we don't have to go to them. But some work is never exempt from DSA, even if it's under the cost threshold. Fire alarm systems and turf replacement are never exempt, so we're going to have to go through Division of State Architect on any of those types of projects. Anytime you put any new building, new path of travel, anything like that. So then when a project ends up going to DSA, we want to know, how long is that going to take? What does that add to our time frame of thinking about how long things are going to take? So there's two types of submissions to Division of State Architect. Over the counter, which is typically like a 6 weeks process, and it's you make an appointment, you show up, and within a week of that appointment, your project is approved. And the way you get those types of projects done is what's called a PC. They've already pre-checked a shade structure, let's say. The shade structure company has had that pre-approved by Division of State Architect. So all we're doing as a district is saying, hey, we have this shade structure and we're putting it at this school. Are you okay with that? And that's why it's a much shorter process. A full review, so for like anything else, like Lofton, for Pacheco High School, any of these other projects we're doing are full reviews. All three disciplines, fire life safety, structural, and access compliance. And that's a full review. That's a 6 to 8 month review. So that's once we submit it to them. That's not our planning. That's not with our architect. That is once we have completely have a full set of plans and we submit it to them before we would get approval. And then the last thing is, what can delay and significantly increase a cost that we take to DSA? ADA improvements to a path of travel. So anything along the path of travel to a new building we're put, if the concrete is not flat enough, if the drinking fountains aren't correct, if the restrooms are not right along the way, ADA compliant, we will be required to fix all of that in that project. So it's not just adding a building, it's all the rest of the work that comes along with that. And then one other thing that can seriously increase and delay the project more than anything is uncertified and unclosed projects. They will not approve new plans on a site if you have any unclosed projects or uncertified projects. And our district at certain sites has some, and so each time we go to do a project, we have to work through that. And we are having to have our architects add additional work to our new projects to close out those old projects. So I just want, and if there's any questions about that, if you guys want more information, or if there's a certain topic you would like to know about in depth, I can bring certain topics, or I'll just choose one, and we'll learn some about facilities.
Mr. Tuso.
So I appreciate that you did this because the few of us that sit on the facilities committee, you know, we know a lot of this, of course, but not everybody does. And especially with having students here, I think it's a great, introduction to certain things that we do in a school district. And maybe when they see something and you say, why isn't that done yet? They're going to be putting this in at our school and it's taking months and months and months. Well, could be because it's sitting in DSA for that review. So I really do appreciate what you did to explain that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments?
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. On to the superintendent's report, Dr. Marshall.
Well, actually, I have a lot tonight, so we're going to go through the slides. I'm going to start with, that's a picture. I was at Volta right before Mr. Thomas and I had our respective teams. I was going into it, I was the champ. But I was defeated shortly thereafter. All right, we had some milestones. The first milestone is actually from the prior month because really it was National School Attendance Awareness Month. This was like last September. But what's really interesting is that we started kind of going back and comparing our ADA from years prior, our average daily attendance, to the present year. And what you can see, before the pandemic, we were averaging like over 95%. But you can see now, it's going up. It's starting to go up again. Now, what's significant is that in September, we had some big events. And I think Ms. Lynette's when she comes up, she's going to talk about September. So I think that's something to really keep in mind. As far as the month of October, we have several celebrations. It's National Hispanic Heritage Month. National Principals Month. It's not really a big month here. But to the principals and audience, check your email a little later. I'll have a nice surprise for you. Some of you already know what we're going to do. And then we had National Custodian Day. Some all-stars you met, David from Miano. We also got Mr. Grady Roberts, a student at Los Banos High School. He was recognized for performing arts, so I want to acknowledge him this evening. And then we had two of our sites to be named among the top in Merced County, Westside Union and Pacheco High School. They were among the best of the best, so a round of applause for both schools. All right, as far as some important updates, strategic plan to launch. If you look at your, in your spots, we have the laminated versions of the directions. And also behind me, you can see where we're going to have these at all the sites. We have them blown up. They're in English and in Spanish. And there will be a formal launch as far as with our public. So that process is moving, so I want to share that. Community schools. As you're aware, we received a grant for $20 million over 5 years to implement community schools in Los Banos. Now that we've gotten a check, we can kind of start moving that process along. Our first visit to some schools in Fresno, thanks to Dr. Lee and Dr. Ritchie, they do have community schools in Fresno. So we have a team going on November 6th. If you're interested in going, please, I think some of you have signed up. But Dr. Lee's kind of coordinated that with his friends in Fresno, so that's real big. Prop 28, Mr. Torres has been doing that articulation. That's going very well. And I'm so pleased tonight to have Creekside with the AVID program, Advancement via Individual Determination. You're in a situation where this is big because that was one of the programs we added during COVID. And with the exception of our Dual Language Immersion Academy over at LBE, that was a second program that we put in place, and it's just nice to see that you guys are taking it to that next level. I've had experience at two of the schools where I was principal. I've started the process as far as getting the program certified, but being able to take it to that next step as far as recognition, like being a distinguished school, we didn't get there. I'm a very competitive person. The high school next door to us did, and they rubbed it in my face every chance that they got. But it's exciting to see Creekside bringing this forward, so I want to share that. Next. All right, I also want to kind of talk about the logo process, because we've been doing this over a few years, and it's interesting how it's been developing. What's interesting is that our old logo, our current logo, basically, logos go through a series where, they're like little catchphrases, slogans, and such. But what's interesting is that our school district in the town, in our city, are the same. So what happens is that, like in our current logo, what's in now is that the city be highlighted, like the school district, like the name of the city. Like if you look at Dallas or Long Beach, you look at their logo, the city stands out. Our old logo, our current logo, has that. So when we kind of go into the design process, you can see as we moved along, that was one that a gentleman worked with us on. We worked with Mr. Danner's class at Los Angeles High School. You see some of the student sketches. And then you can see how it's kind of evolved to that next level. So it's been a work in progress. I want to just show you basically our work up to this point. Next. Now, one thing that we're working on as far as our, and Ms. Mundy talked about a lot about our projects. What we've done in the past, we put them up and we approved them. But we've taken it now to this next level where we put the respective funding to go along with those. And it's Dr. Lee came up with this document. So basically we can look fiscal, construction, we can look at all of our funds, and people can see when the projects are going to be done, but also how we're going to pay for them and what money that it's going to come from. Next. Now let's start. I want to kind of go into our facility funding sources. There's Fund 14, that's deferred maintenance. That's when you have like your buildings start having like your fire alarms, roofs. That's where those funds come in. Then there's funds 21 and 35. Those are monies that we receive to accommodate student growth. An example of that is the TK Center. Then we have Fund 40, and that's all about energy saving projects that we just went over. So when you see the document, it's going to have it all laid out. Next slide, please. I'm sure you all can't see that, but you can see where we have aligning projects with resources. We have it over 3 years. And basically, you can look and see like when people ask the question, okay, how are you going to pay for X, Y, and Z? It's laid out for you. So we're taking that project approval list and putting resources with it. Next. Now, this is a slide. This is my homework assignment from last time. I had a board member to ask, okay, since you've been here, how much money in grants has like our team, how much have we received? And so we did a deep dive. And I want to be clear about what's a grant as opposed to money that we get. Now, when COVID hit, the state and the federal government gave us money based on our unduplicated count. So basically, the higher your free and reduced lunch rate percentage, the more money you got. You looked in your account and you got the award. Competitive grants are different. Basically, they put out the application, you apply for it, they score it. The better the application, the more money you get. The weaker the application, the less money you get. It's a simple process. But if you look at this is just the totals. Now, Ed Services, I talked about previously, we received a grant for $20 million over 5 years. So that's a lion's share of that. But you also had some other heavy hitters. I mean, you had Mr. Zachary Cruz, but LEAP, I mean, those were millions of dollars that he received for his program. A lot of our career and technical education programs and monies. Those are competitive dollars. I mean, they don't just give them to you. If you don't apply for them, like there was 1 year, we didn't apply, we didn't get it. So that's Ed Services. Child nutrition, same thing. As far as there's money that they just get, but like all of the carts, a lot of the fancy things that you see around campuses from child nutrition, he applied for those things. And as you can see, that's almost $2 million. Operational grants, it's the same thing. A lot of money that, we participate in the matching funds program, but then there are also competitive grants that we've gone for and gotten. Like, for instance, half of that, there's $11 million there. There was a $6 million grant that we received for TK. And then next year, we're going to apply for the same grant and get hopefully the same amount of money for the next phase of classrooms. Then we learned that there's some money that we can get as far as for old projects. They said up to $14 million that we can go after. Now, I don't know if we're eligible for all 14, but if you get $5 or $6 million that you weren't expecting, that's always a good thing. So next. All right, again, you can't read that. That's the individual breakdown of all the grants. And it just talks about, if you look at the way we have it organized, and you can look, the totals there. But all the grants, as far as the different individuals that were responsible, well, everything is there. So that's $61 million that we applied for, that we received, that our students benefited from? So that's the answer to that question. Next. Some big events that this month that occurred, we had we talked about previously, the TK groundbreaking. Some of you had the opportunity to go to the Miano for the kindergarten fashion show. That was nice. We had our electric bus delivery on October 8th. What's interesting about that is that I love it when we are at the head, kind of ahead of the game. I was actually at a meeting on Tuesday when the county superintendent was talking about to the other districts about, are you guys ready for electric buses? And he was kind of giving us the whole speech about it. And I was like, well, actually, we have some delivered today. So we were way ahead of the curve. Volta, I had the chance to go to the family reading celebration. And it was nice. I think the teacher was very emotional because so many parents showed up. Laura, you were there in terms of she was overwhelmed by the parents. It was just a great number that showed up. Pacheco High School's multicultural night, that's a staple in this community. I'll show a picture later. We had the Los Banos High School. They're going to do a Hispanic Heritage Night. That's going to be on Monday. San Luis is having this open house on the 18th. And then Miano's doing the Be a Buddy, not a Bully Festival on October 24th. I'll make sure I get that right. So here's some pictures. This one you saw already. This is the groundbreaking. This is my second school here, so that's very exciting to do that. Thanks. That's the fashion show. Thanks for the pictures. I mean, the kids and families really enjoyed that. I mean, I sat with some families. They were very proud to go through that. Next. This is the reading celebration and both that I talked about. I mean, this is in the classroom. Look at all the families that are there partaking. Next. Like I talked about, our EV buses, they're here. Next. Look at this. This is the multicultural event at Pacheco High School. Look at the people, the number of people there. Like I talked about, this is a staple in our community, and it was so nice to see that, be a part of that. Next. Now, the grounds at Pacheco High School. One thing I have to make sure that when I do these presentations, I always get in trouble. But I'm going to do this tonight because I always forget something, and I'll get emails the next morning. Well, you didn't talk about. In this case, you look at the planter. There's some planters at Pacheco, the grounds, like the two top pictures of the grounds, like the planters, and you see like the landscaping. That was done by our own maintenance team. And I want to make sure that I pointed that out. They did that. That was done in-house. And I'm excited because, thank you, Dr. Moran. I think they're going to be doing a partnership on the 14th with our grounds department and the college. So I'm looking forward to that on next Monday. Thanks. And finally, we have kudos to Dr. Moran again. And we have a little celebration that we're going to do real quick.
New name.
Let's do this. There you go. And that concludes my report. That's it. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Marshall. All right, on to board member reports. So I guess it's the night of Dr. Moran. So we're going to start with Dr. Moran tonight.
Thank you. I had to hold back the tears. It's you could say that it's a LBUSD pride as well. For those of you that don't know, I was born and raised here. I went to public education, so I went to Charleston. There was only one high school. Wait, I just skipped through junior high, right? We were the first class to go to the new junior high. So I think I remember a couple, Ms. Brazil being a teacher at that time, but it's just like a full circle, right? We have meditations readings happening next week. I remember that was actually my history class in which I took classes in. And so now we get to do, activities with the students. So it's a full circle for me. Obviously, there was only one high school, so I went to Tigers. Anyways, I probably have way too much education than any person should ever have, but I left to Berkeley. I loved it. I graduated, but my heart has always been in my community, came back, did my MBA, and then started working at Merced College. And then after that, while I was in Merced College, I said, I really want to be able to connect with our students at the college. So I did another master's in academic school counseling because I felt like, being like more economics and MBA based, like you're very transactional and you're very, a transactional kind of thought. So that was my whole idea. I haven't actually been a counselor, but took a lot from that program. And yeah, I defended my dissertation on the 25th. So I think it's like been just 2 weeks. I don't think it's sinking in yet. And it's a full coming home to be able to then show and showcase to others that it's possible. But yeah, born and raised here, came back, and I have the great fortune to be at not only Merced College, but our Los Banos campus here. So for those of you that are thinking of college and going off and, have any questions, definitely use me as a resource. Didn't mean to make this whole disclaimer on me, but just I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for that. Just wanted to put a little bit on that. I wanted to do kudos to Pacheco High because, of course, the multicultural event, as Dr. Marshall mentioned, is a staple. I want to say that there was a lot more folks out there this year. It was packed. It was huge. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. And food, I keep hearing Snickers, so I'll leave it to the next board members to say what they ate and all the good stuff that they enjoyed. But kudos, and yes, I'll look forward to next week, starting meditations, and then being at Volta for a poetry contest. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And what she forgot to tell the senior sitting out here was not only is she at Merced College, she's the dean of Merced College.
Yes.
So she's an important person to know. So thank you very much. How about Ms. Baldeo?
I am excited to see our strategic plan being implemented finally, because a lot of times our district puts all this work into making documents and they just sit on a shelf, and I'm thinking this one is not going to sit on a shelf. So I just want to read our vision, because I think that I see that in our students who are sitting here today. It says, Los Banos Unified graduates are confident, prepared citizens positively impacting the world in their ongoing pursuit of knowledge. And just that you guys are here today and you're taking an effort. Your teacher, I guess I know he's encouraged you to do that. He's making learning meaningful for you, because this is what the world is about. I'm also a Los Banos graduate, came back to my hometown and have worked here and now retired. And I'm glad to see that you guys are here, and I hope to see you in the future. And I know you are our next generations of leaders, and I hope that I see you back in Los Banos one day. Thank you.
All right. Well, how about another Los Banos graduate, Ms. Gattuso?
Thank you. Yeah, I get, but mine, my 50th was this year, so I've been away from school for a while. I'm just going to highlight the family reading celebration I went to the other day at Volta. Thank you for having us. Miss DeBryan, is that how she said? Okay, but it's Danish, isn't it? She says it differently, but she said English, I could say it like that. So she just had a wonderful event and lots of family members. We got to play a little bit of games with the kids, some reading games. It was fun. It was great. I love the turnout. She's so excited about what she's doing and how she's helping as it relates to the reading program that she's kind of taking a lead on. Is that correct there? So she's an intervention support instructor, and she's been there for 4 years. She's also working on her master's in reading and literacy added authorization, her RLAA, and reading and literacy leadership specialist credential as well. And she's looking forward to helping develop curriculum, some mentoring, and some instruction and help for teachers. And it was just very nice to see how excited and how she felt about the students and the parents and just being able to help. I just loved it so much. So, again, just wonderful teachers we have, wonderful classified staff we have. We just, and administrators. I don't want to leave anybody out, but we have a great school district. So kids, students, go off, do what you need to do, but come back and be the new us up here, or whatever you want to do. But, give back to your community. We would love to see that. Thank you.
All right. Well, I too am a Los Banos high graduate, but we're going to go on to Mr. Leave.
Thank you. So I had the pleasure of attending the Charleston Elementary Fall Festival and watching Principal Lou Reese being dunked in the dunk booth. That was fun to see. I too attended the multicultural night at Pacheco High and was amazed. It grows every year. It was great. Looking forward to Monday night Hispanic Cultural Night at Los Banos High. Went to the kindergarten fashion show. Shot some video. I'll get that up on YouTube channel so you can watch it. The kindergarten kids were amazing. You know what I think about kindergarten kids. They're so innocent and full of energy. Thank you for everyone for the new TK Center. I enjoyed breaking ground on that and looking forward to seeing that. I live near there, so I see it every day as I drive by. And last, Principal Diolinda Brazil. Did the Los Banos Junior High soccer team win their championship soccer game against Mendota today? They did not. So I was there yesterday, and they were playing Fireball. They beat Fireball. And then today they played Mendota for the championship, and they didn't win. 2-1. And that team is something else. When you watch them play, I can't wait till they make it to high school. Lots of talent on that team. So undefeated.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
Break.
oh well. It's all right. It's good. That's okay. Being a Dodger fan, I understand how that works. Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Munoz.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Okay. Dot Day over at Lorel Velasco Elementary, okay, along with Mrs. King. I love going over there to read to the kids. I read to a first grade class. Other times, second, third grade. But I always have a lot of fun with these kids. It's really nice. I attended the groundbreaking ceremony, TK Center. Mrs. Monday, I believe the ground was 5 acres or 8? 5. Okay, because I was really amazed to see that land. Okay, because over in Mariposa we have 11 acres, and I was like trying to figure out, But it was really nice, really good. And then last here's kindergarten fashion show over at Miano. I had a really good time there. My wife and I. She really enjoyed watching the little kids, and so did I. It kind of reminded me of my granddaughter over at Lorel Velasco. And we had a good time. She did. I was really pleased to see that. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Smith.
Okay. I too enjoyed the multicultural night at Pacheco High School. I was out there yesterday evening until the mosquitoes ran me away. But I really, really enjoyed being out there. I have 2 daughters that attend Pacheco High School, and I think they spend 90% of their time on the campus when school is not in session. I've been attending most of the girls' volleyball games. I have a couple girls on the team, and watching them win, watching them lose. But at the end of the day, they have a good time, and they enjoy it, and they have a very good coach that we really like a lot. I also want to say that the Los Banos Memorial Hospital will be giving vaccines tomorrow from 07:30 to 1800 in the hospital parking lot. They're free to the community, and I really encourage you to come out and let me give you a vaccination for the season's flu. And I want to say thank you to Zach and the ELITE program. I have firsthand knowledge of the success that those students are having. I have some kids there that I spend a lot of time with, and I'm just seeing a lot of improvement in reading and comprehension, even sports. So we're really, really impressed with the group of people in my community that use the ELITE program. You just can't say enough about it. They come home at 6, the homework is done. If you go pick them up early, they tell you to come back because they still want to play at ELITE. And the kids love it, and the families love it, and it's just a great, great program that we have in Los Banos. So thank you for that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I really can't add anything that hasn't already been said, so I won't do that, except I've gotten my flu shot in previous years from Ms. Smith. She's really good, doesn't hurt. So go. She's gentle. Go get a painless shot from Ms. Smith. So it's a good thing. All right. Next up is item A, Lynette White social presentation. Dr. Marshall.
All right. One thing that we are very fortunate in Los Banos that we have a very engaged community. if you look at our social media presence, it's interesting. Now, we have on our Facebook page, we have like about 4,000 plus likes, but we also have 4,000 followers. So, so we have a high level of engagement, and there's our page and there's these other pages. But we brought Lynette White Social in because our previous person, he moved to Florida. She's based in California, and basically just took the ball, and it's gone to a different level now. We just seen it just go up so much more. And they really assist us with a lot of things. In terms of one thing I forgot to add on the logos, basically, is Brianna here? Brianna, yeah. Yes, right there. Hey, how you doing? The newer designs of the logo, that was, she assisted us with that. So I wanted to make sure I point that out. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Thank you. Okay, can you guys hear me? Yes. So good evening, board members, Superintendent Marshall, members of the staff, community. I think there's still students here. Good evening to everyone. We're here to provide a quick update on your communications efforts. My colleague Brianna is in the back. She had some atrocious traffic, so she's going to let me take the reins tonight. But this is your communications team, so that's me on a really great day. And then and then that's the beautiful Brianna in the back. So I'm Lynette White, the CEO and founder of Lynette White Social. I've been in education for about 15 years now. And in addition to owning this business, I'm also a podcaster and an author of a recently released book that I'm really proud of. It's on branding and communications for educational leaders. School public relations is a huge passion of mine, so I'm excited to get to serve you all. Brianna is an incredible team member. She comes from Fresno State, so she's local to the area. And is just very experienced in communications, all things graphic design. She really took great direction on that logo design and really tried to incorporate parts of the city into the logo. So I hope you're happy with that. And so I do want to go over a quick little timeline with you with our partnership with Los Banos. So we started our partnership in July 2024. In mid-July, we had the privilege of meeting with your leadership team and had a great time talking about telling your story and what it means to be a part of the Los Banos. Is that what I'm saying correctly? Los Banos. The little Puerto Rican in me wants to say Los Banos. But okay. And then in August, we did our first visit to LBUSD. September, we did our second visit. We also provided a preliminary data report. At this point, we've provided 2 reports to Dr. Marshall. And then here we are today. And so our approach to storytelling is kind of threefold. We really want to be able to authentically connect with your community. So it's key to us to come and visit the district. So we're not just telling the story from a far off remote location. We're actually here getting to know your staff, getting to know your students. We had the opportunity to do presentations in a classroom recently, which was really great. So it's really helped us, I think, be able to tell a really great story that's connecting with your community. And then additionally, these 2 elements, in addition to our site visits, the staff members frequently share photos with us. So your staff is so proud of the work that's being done in this district. They share photos, they share videos, they share wonderful stories. It was so cute when I saw the young man earlier. I recognized him from all the photos I've gotten from him or about him. And so our results as a result of that have been amazing. So you can see on there, I know that the members of the audience may not be able to see, but our Facebook overall engagement growth is 618%. Our Instagram overall engagement growth is 363.75%. And I put 0.75 because I'm super into data and I want to dial it down to the last percentage, right? And so as we mentioned in the previous slide, we've had some really great gains. And I think that's based on our efforts of really building that relationship. So really getting into the community, knowing what's important to them, and then telling those stories and highlighting them. I do want to note on the slide, you will see a Facebook drop in September, and that's completely normal. The excitement of back to school in August, also a new social media strategy, the community noticed it immediately. And so you kind of had this viral trend that goes up, and then it kind of leveled out. So Brianna and our goal is to maintain those numbers if we can. And even with this drop, we're still at 618%. I think the initial gain was 900 and something percent. So yeah, needless to say, your community is super engaged on social media. They enjoy what they're seeing and they definitely share it. And so, as Dr. Marshall alluded to in his presentation, district crisis communications in the month of September were up. I do want to note that we work 24/7 with the districts we represent to provide guidance and support. And so no matter what time of day, weekend, Dr. Marshall and I have spoken late in the evening on a Saturday morning. We've spoken at all times of day, depending on what the district needs. I do want to note that in September, there was a slew of hoax threats that were posted on social media. Your community was not alone. That happened across the entire nation. And so my colleagues across the country experienced a massive rise in the need for crisis letters in September, which resulted in the FBI and several other agencies creating graphics such as this one to inform students of the importance in thinking before you post. The consequences are real and can be severe. And so while we haven't posted this out yet, it was like getting to that point where I think we were kind of considering sending something out like this. And then in regards to crisis communications, I really want to commend your staff and community for promptly notifying the appropriate parties when a potential threat occurs. And under Superintendent Marshall's leadership, the collaboration is incredible. So I have the privilege of working with districts throughout this state and a few in another state. And I don't know that I've seen collaboration like Dr. Marshall has with the chief of police, who he can get on the phone immediately. And I've had the pleasure of speaking to several times now. And so Superintendent Marshall is involved and proactive from the beginning of a crisis event until it's over, which doesn't happen in all districts. And so I really appreciate that of him, because a lot of times it's like, here's my problem, fix it, and we'll do it. But it's great when you have someone who's in that system, who's taking ownership, who's really guiding you through what's appropriate for their community. I think that makes our crisis communications a whole lot better. And so the format of our crisis communications are always in line with the standards set for communications professionals from the National School Public Relations Association. And they provide as much detail as we can provide depending on each topic that arises and whether law enforcement is involved. Each letter is crafted collaboratively with the staff, as I mentioned. So it's collaboratively with Dr. Marshall, who then relays that message to his leadership team, and then also collaboratively with the police department. So we're all trying to be saying the same message. That way it's very powerful, it's unified, it shows that partnership between the school district and also with the police department. And so I've appreciated working with Superintendent Marshall to get the information out to the community as quickly as possible. I do want to stress that it's never going to be fast enough for the community. There's always going to be people who want that letter out faster, but because there are things that we need to vet with the police or with admin, we need to be sure that those points are correct, because you can't take them back. So we want to make sure that that's correct. And so, not to be a Debbie Downer, right? Now to pivot on to why we're all in education. So the students. Here are a few of your top posts from the past few weeks, and I think you can see the heart of the district from the students and the staff. So these are just some of the top posts that have been posted. There's the young man from today, and there's that cool glow picture. And that's all I have for you. If you have any questions for me, I would love to take your questions.
So I know I have, and I'm sure everybody else up here has noticed, what's the right word I want to use? The change in the way our information has been presented. So thank you for that. It's very noticeable that there's been a different person behind the pen. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
And the other thing is, being born and raised here, I grew up with it being Los Banas. But it's changed now to Los Baños.
Los Baños, I know, and I don't want to call it that.
So,
but thank you.
But anything works. But
Yeah.
anybody else's
Any
comments?
questions?
Great job.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
It's, you know what, it's been a great joy for both of us to work in this district. The staff is responsive. The students are super respectful when we come in and interact with them. And Dr. Marshall and Tina have been phenomenal to work with. So just thank you for having us. We really appreciate getting the opportunity to tell your story.
Just curious, sorry, just curious, you take care of the district, not schools.
No, not schools, but we
But
do
you-
have a brand ambassador program, which is something that I created, which is basically creating an army of storytellers within your school system. So every month they're provided professional development on how to better tell their story. So from social media tips to just PR in general, we're providing them with that professional development as well.
Schools, you're all doing a great job as well.
They do.
With posting, and I'm just so happy every time I see something that you posted in the pictures. So you're all doing a great job, and you're doing a great job for the district.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Glad you're here.
So the posts that you put out for social media are very engaging and eye-catching. And I hope that going forward, we can direct people from the social media posts to our school district website, because our website is supposed to be the portal that has all information and can answer a lot of questions. So getting people to be engaged on social media, but then getting them with a link to the website so they can go there and see everything would actually help educate the public.
Okay, for sure. We can do that.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. All right, up next is Creekside Junior High AVID program. Welcome, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you. Yes, courtesy of Dr. Marshall, Ms. Palazzo. Although I won't say that DP word, but you know, it's okay. I know how to spruce it up. Good evening, board, Mr. Pereira, Dr. Marshall, cabinet members, and community. My name is Taiwan Lawrence. I'm the proud principal of Creekside Junior High School, and I brought some friends along with me tonight to talk about AVID. It's been a 3-year journey for us. AVID is near and dear to my heart because I had a very, very good experience as a teacher with AVID back in Durham. We had a chaotic school, very chaotic, kids running around, just no learning was happening. And AVID was introduced to us, and our principal was flying the ship and building at the same time. It wasn't 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. It was here are the notebooks, do it. And but now we are very, I would say, cohesive. We have a very good plan. I'm very happy to work with these individuals. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. For me, it's just about giving our kids that opportunity to become doctors, become lawyers, to go on a college campus, to see what it's like to be, to give them hope, to give them skills. And that's what AVID does. It's robust, it's research-based, it's been around since the 1980s. It's nothing new, it's just something that you have to work on. You have to work it in order for it to work. And I'm excited that I have a staff that's willing to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to present some information to you, and we'll take questions.
Hello, board. My name is Nicole Dobbs. I am the AVID elective teacher on campus at Creekside Junior High.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Daniel Herrera. I am one of the 7th grade history teachers there at Creekside Junior High.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacy Ortega. I'm the 8th grade school counselor here at Creekside.
Good evening. I'm Monica Magania. I am the learning director at Creekside as well as the AVID site coordinator. And before my team goes into our slides, I really want to talk about my team and give them kudos because our team are doing such a great job at Creekside that we have other schools from outside our district coming to look at our classrooms. So that's how, our AVID representative is talking about our classrooms to other school districts, and they're reaching out to come watch us and, watch our Avid teacher, Miss Dobbs. She's a local celebrity now for Avid. So I really want to give our team kudos before they present their information. Thank you.
All right, so I am the Avid elective teacher, so I'd love to talk to you guys about what we do and the elective. First off, our mission statement is Avid's mission is to close the achievement gap by preparing all students for college readiness and success in a global society. We also have our vision statement built into our vision statement at Creekside, and our Creekside vision statement is Creekside Junior High School will become a safe and collaborative Avid demonstration school that inspires, empowers, and educates lifelong learners. So what is, do we have the video first? Go ahead. Okay. So what is the Avid elective? In the Avid elective, students are going to learn how to organize their work. We teach them study skills. We work on critical thinking, which asking probing questions. We get academic help from peers, college tutors, and we participate in enrichment and motivational activities that help them get college ready. Yes, we can. Please do. We have a video that we would like to show you with some of my Avid students.
Today we are interviewing Mia. Mia, how has Avid helped you? It helps me stay organized, and I can do work from other classes, and it will get me ready for college. Thank you.
All right, today we have Yashida, I'm in 8th grade.
Isabella, I'm in 8th grade. And Sean, I'm in 8th grade too.
And today they are going to tell us how Avid has helped them.
Avid has helped me stay organized, and it helps me prep of like what I want to do for my future and see what college I want to go to. Avid has helped me stay organized and communicate better and be respectful to others.
Avid has helped me stay organized. It has helped me talk better with others, and it overall has just helped me figure out what I want to do with my life.
Thank you.
Oh, I love my students so much. They are just so wonderful. I just absolutely love them. So I want to talk to you guys more about the Avid elective as well. But before we get into that, I would like Mr. Herrera to talk to us about the importance of why college readiness is so important.
All right, thank you. So yes, I do teach history, but I am really good with the numbers. So that's what we're going to take a look at here on the graph. So if you could take a look, we can understand that college readiness is important, but not only just for their academic benefit, but for the economic impact it has on our students in the future. So this chart and this data will show that giant increase from just an associate's degree up into a bachelor's degree, which is what we are striving to do with Avid. We are trying to get our students college and career ready. A college degree not only gives students choices, it also gives them better opportunities down the road. The higher the level of education, the lower the rate of unemployment as well, as seen on the graph on the right. Over their lifetime, a college graduate on average earns $1 million more than just a high school graduate. That is a significant number that not only creates your family wealth, but generational wealth down the line. And this impact isn't only just to individuals, but to society. Higher levels of education leads to elevated wages across the board, a more equal distribution of income amongst the community, and substantial gains in productivity for everybody. For example, 30 years ago, only 12% of U.S. jobs required post-secondary training or a bachelor's degree. In the coming years, nearly 8 out of every 10 jobs will require some form of college or bachelor's degree education. As well, we will also see a contrast in the development of low-skilled jobs, which means we will need more college-level students. So our job with our 7th graders and 8th graders is not to just get them thinking about college, but give them the skills that they will have to use in college as well. So if you are going to walk away with something, it is that here at Los Banos, you can not only go to college, it is just in your reach as well. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Ms. Dobbs to continue with the Avid elective.
All right, so in the Avid elective, what do we do in the elective? So we want to help students do rigorous work so we can meet or exceed high standards in each content area that they are learning. So in the Avid elective, students are developing as readers and writers. They develop deep content knowledge. We teach them content-specific strategies for reading, writing, thinking, and talking. And we develop those habits, skills, and behaviors and to use those knowledge and abilities that they are learning. So an AVID student is a successful student. So in the AVID elective, we teach them to study and organizational skills, teaches academic and social skills that are not targeted in other classes, and provides intensive support with in-class support, tutors, and a strong student-teacher relationship, teaches students to work collaboratively to be successful in the most rigorous courses, provides college and university exposure. We do get to go on college trips, and the kids really love those trips that we go on. It's a blast when we take them. We assist students with the application process for college and universities, and that is at the high school level, but that service is available with the AVID elective. Helps students explore careers through guest speakers, and develops a sense of hope and personal achievement gained through hard work and determination. And I just kind of want to give you guys a little look at what the AVID student profile is. So the students that I have in the AVID elective, because this is about the AVID elective, but AVID practices are school-wide. So while I do teach the AVID elective, we have lots of teachers at Creekside who are AVID trained, who do use the strategies that AVID has taught us to teach their students as well. But just to give you kind of a look at what the student looks like in the AVID elective, these are students with that academic potential who just want to push themselves. They want to level themselves up. So these are students who have average to high test scores, a 2.0 to a 3.5 GPA. So they're kind of in that mid-range. They have that college potential with that support that AVID gives them. They have that desire and that determination to go to college. And they are typically like the first person in their family to attend that college. And that is why it is so important that we reach these students to get them college ready. The AVID student is one who can achieve rigorous curriculum with the support from the AVID elective class. And this is a graph that kind of shows you a sample week in the AVID elective. We do have 2 days where students are taught with the AVID curriculum, which supports their writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading skills, as well as study skills and leadership skills. And we actually have an acronym for those skills that we call it Wicker Skills. We actually have Wicker Wednesdays on campus, and Mr. Lawrence has really fun announcements on those days where he'll play some music and he gets the kids all into it, and he says it's Wicker Wednesday, and we have a really good time. And then AVID tutorials are also done twice a week, so that's in blue right there. Those are the tutorial days. We do them twice. Students have to fill out something called a TRF, known as a tutorial request form. They actually have to request the tutorial by writing out a process of something they're learning in an academic class, and then they present it in a group in a tutorial session where they talk about what they know, and then if they are stuck, their peers are there to help assist them in their learning. Oh, this is the process I did, and how did you figure this out? And they share and they collaborate and work together. AVID tutorials are a time and place where students come with complex questions from any content class and get guiding support to confront tough problems and solve them within their own means. And then you'll notice on Friday it has a bunch of stuff listed, and Fridays are our choice days, and those are the days where we do like fun activities. We'll do organization checks, we do field trips, we have guest speakers, motivational activities within that schedule. And we just we call them AVID choice days now, so they're the days that we have like a lot of fun in the classroom, and we kind of end our week off on a good note. And I would like to give the mic to our wonderful counselor, Ms. Ortega.
Thank you. Hi. So never thought I would love data till now. I was never a data person. So the school counselor role in AVID is implemented through the social, emotional, academic, and college career readiness domains. As always aligned with the American School Counselor Association standards model, also known as the ASCA model. The third week of school, we presented a Tier 1 classroom lesson called Strive to Success. Students completed a pre and post survey, and here is a sample of the data that we collected. So prior to the lesson, 41.4% of students knew there were 23 universities in California. After the lesson, 79.9% of students knew there were 23 universities in California. The second question was, prior to the lesson, 18% of the students strongly agreed that A through G courses prepared them for college, and after the lesson, 48.8% strongly agreed that A through G courses prepared them for college. At the end of the lesson, all students created their California College Guidance Initiative accounts, which is also known as a CCGI. They enjoyed exploring colleges and careers and getting familiar with the CCGI platform, which they were very excited about it. They were bringing up names like brain surgeons, they were underground welders, and I was like, wow, what happened to doctors, lawyers? They're just really getting creative. And it was nice because they are allowed to bookmark what they like and build their plan, and it also follows them to their high school. So they're all registered. Okay. And then we also implement Avid through Tier 2. On Wicker Wednesdays, we offer Wicker workshops during lunchtime, and we also help kids with a variety of topics. And for example, we have kids who are learning how to calculate their GPAs. Many of them don't know how, so they want to come in and learn. Being organized, if you can see the before and after, I do not know what else they were pulling out of those backpacks, but afterwards, they were very organized. They also utilize focused note taking, so I'll read them an article, just something fun, anything. I know right now my boys group, I am reading a book, and they're also taking core notes on that. So it is also implemented, and we do want to push more towards Tier 1, getting into the whole entire school. Thank you.
I want to ask you guys something. So we are working on getting an Avid Day.
Go to the mic, please.
I was using my teacher voice, sorry. Going at our school, and I'm trying to partner with businesses around the community. So like my husband works for DWR. So he's been bringing like machinery company shirts and hats so that we can give out to the kids. We ask them to wear college gear on Thursdays and career gear, but these kids don't have it, right? So what can we do? I'm reaching out to people at PG&E. Can we get things? Those are careers too that our kids can go to, right? So I'm trying to, we've gotten pennants and buttons from different universities. So on our Avid Day, we want to provide the kids with these things. So if you know of any businesses that are willing to help us out and provide us with shirts or hats or anything that our kids could wear for a career day or even start researching for these careers that they might, be interested in, we'd greatly appreciate it at Creekside. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions? Before you ask the question, also, we want to acknowledge that we will be hosting our 3rd college and career fair. That's a good place for a hand clap. And you all will be invited to come. So you be on the lookout for the invite. College and Career Fair to be in May. Do we have a date? May?
So we usually have it the 2nd Friday of May.
Yeah. I'll send you an invite. Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions? All right, any questions? Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good information. All right. Next item C. It's a resolution for continued funding for the application for the fiscal year 25-26 for the Los Banos Unified School District preschool program. Welcome, Ms. Rocha.
Hello, board. So it is recommended that the board approve the renewal. Every year we have to do the continued funding application. Our funds renew yearly, but we have to come to you and to renew those funds. And it is an agreement with the California Department of Education and Los Banos Unified. These funds are just for the 4 classrooms that we have right now. We do have expansion funds that I'm going to be receiving to open 2 new classrooms when the Early Education Center opens, but those classrooms aren't licensed yet, and so because they're not licensed, they're not part of this funding. So when I do my program narrative change to change that, I'll come to you and let you guys know when that happens. But this is for the 4 classrooms that we have right now.
Any questions? Motion, please. Oh, yeah. Motion by Ms. Valadeo, seconded by Mr. Lieb to adopt the resolution and approve the renewal of the continued funding application for the fiscal year 25-26 for the Los Banos Unified School District preschool program. It is a roll call vote. Tina, please.
Mrs. Gattuso?
Yes.
Mr. Lieb?
Yes.
Dr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Valadeo? Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
And that passed unanimously. Thank you. On to item D, 2324, GAN limit resolution. Ms. Marcella.
Good evening. The board is asked to adopt the 23-24 GAN appropriation limit resolution. This is an operational activity that we do every year, and it is part of our audit.
Any comments or questions? Need a motion, please? We have a motion by Member Gattuso, seconded by Member Moran, to adopt Resolution 47-24 for the 23-24 GAN limit. All those in favor? Oh, excuse me, it's roll call vote. Tina?
Mrs. Gattuso?
Yes.
Mr. Lieb?
Yes.
Dr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Valadeo? Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, passed unanimously. Thank you. On to item E, GASB 75 Actuarial Variation Report.
It is asked that the board accept and review the GASB 75 Actuarial Services Study. This is also an audit requirement, and we bring this to you every year. You remember last year I had a consultant there out of Florida, so he is not coming this year. This is just telling you where we're at with the GASB Trust. As most of you know, it's a trust that we have set up that helps pay for retirees' benefits in the future.
Comments or questions? Need a motion, please? We got a motion by Member Smith, seconded by Mr. Munoz, to accept the GASB 75 Actual Variation Report. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And it's carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Marcella. On to the item F, FOT parking lot improvements, change orders. We always love change orders.
Good evening again. It is recommended that the board approve change orders number 1 through 8 from TBS Contractors for the FOT Site Improvements Project. When you approved the original contract with the contractor, we had a 10% contingency that was approved also at that time for $146,000. We have, with change orders 1 through 8, 23,000 of that 146 has been spent, and we're pretty much done with the project. So that was a very small part of the contingency that we actually used. So that was good that we had it there. So this is basically approving the change orders. You've already approved the dollars on the original contract.
Comments, questions? If not, need a motion, please. Got a motion by Member Lieb, seconded by Member Gattuso, to approve change orders 1 through 8 for the FOT parking lot improvements. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you. On to item G, purchase of EV buses. Dr. Lee.
It is recommended that the board approve the purchase of 7 new green-powered EV buses for the Transportation Department from Model 1 Commercial Vehicles, Inc.
And I might remind the board that we did get a corrected BRM on this one with the change in the sales tax from what was originally published, and it is posted on the website. Any comments or questions? Motion, please. Got a motion by Member Gattuso, seconded by Member Munoz, to approve the purchase of EV buses from Green Power EV Buses. Excuse me. Oh, from Model 1 Commercial Vehicles Incorporated. Sorry, read the wrong line there. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And carried unanimously. On to item H, funding agreement with San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District for electric golf carts. Dr. Lee.
It is recommended the board approve the new alternative fuel vehicle purchase funding agreement between Los Banos Unified School District and San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District.
Questions? Comments? Motion? Got a motion by Mr. Lieb, seconded by Ms. Valadeo, to approve the agreement for the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District for electric golf carts. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And on to the biggest part of our agenda, miles and miles of paper here, and that is board policy changes first reading. Mr. Sowersby.
Yes, the most exciting part of the night. Everybody's favorite, board policies. All right. It is recommended the board declare its intent to adopt the following mandated policy updates. And there's a lot of them. BP 0410, BP 0510, AR 0510, BP 1113, AR 1113, E1, and that's 1113, BP 1114, AR 1114, BP 1312.3, AR 1312.3, AR 1312.4, E1 1312.4, E2 1312.4, AR 3517, E1 3517, BP 4030, AR 4030, BP 4040, AR 4040, E2 4040, BP 5113, AR 5113, BP 5116.2, BP 6112, AR 6112, BP 6142.92, BP 6152.1, AR 6152.1, BP 6163.4, AR 6163.4, and E1 6163.4.
Could you repeat that, please? I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat it now, right?
Whoever makes the motion has to read all.
All right. Thank you. All right. With that. Any questions or comments? Yeah. Questions or comments? Motion, please. We have a motion by Member Moran, seconded by Member Gattuso, to declare our intent to adopt, which means we'll see these again next month in the consent agenda, or consent calendar. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much, and it is passed unanimously. On the consent calendar, are there any pulls? Ms. Gattuso.
Can we pull K9, please?
K9 is pulled.
I just have a few questions.
Any other pulls? All right, seeing none, we will, or I will accept a motion to approve the consent calendar with the exception of item K9.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Lieb, seconded by Ms. Gattuso, to approve the consent calendar as presented with the exception of K9, which was pulled. Is a roll call vote. Tina?
Mrs. Gattuso?
Yes.
Mr. Lieb?
Yes.
Dr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Valadeo? Mr. Pereira?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Gattuso, talk to your poll, please.
Okay. So, Dr. Marshall, can you please just let us know, I understand phase one because we were going to have a steering committee and all of that. But now there's also phase two, and phase three is listed on there, except no information on phase three. So I'm wondering what is the completed project, and what are we looking at more money-wise?
The goal is basically like I talked about, we kind of started the process in-house as far as like having the things laminated and started making it part of our work. This is more along the lines to get like launching out to the community as a whole in terms of like what our new vision is and our, the activities and steps and such.
But that's not really what they've listed. I
Right.
guess I'm confused because honestly, their contract is
Right.
kind of not very, I'm just going to be blunt, not very well written.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what's
I mean, we
going
could,
on.
we can put it, we don't have to approve it tonight. I mean, that's not, if I'd known
It's
previously,
not-
we could pull it.
Yeah, no, it's not and it's not the money issue at all. I mean, because it's not much money. It's just, I'm not sure what the different phases are, and if
Right.
they can
Well, what I'll
maybe
do this.
provide us with that.
Well, let's do this. I'll give it as far as like the parts that are not clear, and we'll just bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good at either way. I mean, I just wanted to kind of ask a
We
couple
can bring
more
it back.
questions.
I mean, that's not an issue. I mean,
Okay.
we can bring it back.
Okay.
All right, so item K9 will be in front of us at a future board meeting. All right, reporting out a closed session. The right page here. Our first action item in closed session was student discipline case. Expulsion case number 5519951 is expelled for the remainder of the school year. Students are to contact Educational Services for readmission following the period of expulsion for a review of attendance, credits, and/or grades and behavior. All students are referred to Valley Community School. The motion was by Member Gattuso, seconded by Member Munoz. The vote was 7 ayes, no noes, no abstentions, and no absence. And item number 2, request for waiver from physical education graduation requirements for a Los Banos High School student. That request was approved. Motion was by Member Lieb, seconded by Member Valadeo. 7 yeses, no nos, no abstentions, and no absences. We are now at discussion, information, and future agenda items. Anybody have anything?
I have one thing I want to add.
Okay, Dr. Marshall.
We learned today, kind of end on a positive note, that we would have, if they had gotten our data, our CAST results back, I guess like before the agenda went out, we could have had more of a, shared it because it wasn't public. But the results came out, we got the preview yesterday, and then the state went ahead and they released the data this morning. And, I'm proud to say that we grew in both areas as far as reading and language arts. And it was very commensurate, like what I like to look at when the test results come out, like as far as looking at our performance, but like how do we do compared to the rest of the state? And the state had a trend where both areas went up slightly. And our results mirrored what the state did. It's kind of what happens is if the state does, if they go way up 10 points or whatever, and we kind of are stagnant, then you have issues. But pretty much we were right there. And I think in some cases our growth exceeded the overall state target. So Dr. Ritchie is going to come next month, and basically, now that it's out, he'll be able to kind of give us an in-depth report. So I want to report that tonight.
And the only thing I just want to say is, since I love you guys so much, don't forget we have a meeting at 5 o'clock on Monday to go over Dr. Marshall's evaluation. And with that, next item is closed session, but we finished everything in closed session. So it is time to adjourn at 8:41. Everybody safe travels home. Thank you for being here. Good night.
Night, everybody.